It's a big day here at Thinlicious because we are finally ready to spill the beans on some pretty big news that we have been working on here behind the scenes for a little while now. And I'm not going to lie, it's pretty huge. But it's not just my news to share, and you're going to understand why in just a minute. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Welcome to the Feel Better, Live Free podcast brought to you by Thinlicious. I'm your host, Ruth Soukup, and here we'll talk about everything from the science of weight loss to practical tips for making your health a priority in the midst of a busy life. It's a little bit nerdy, a little bit funny, and a little bit revolutionary. So buckle up, friend, because it's about to get real. Hey there, and welcome back to the Feel Better, Live Free podcast. Once again, my name is Ruth Soukup, and I am the founder of Thinlicious and the creator of the Thin Adapted System, as well as the New York Times bestselling author of 7 books. And I know it's been a minute since we have released a new episode, but hopefully this will be the first of a whole new era here at Thinlicious, which is exactly what I wanted to talk about today. But in order to do that, I think I need to introduce you to my co-host for this episode, Lisa Thompson, who some of you may already know because she has actually been here since the very beginning. So welcome, Lisa.
Thanks. It's so good to be here today.
I know, and we have some pretty exciting news to share. So I don't know, should we just out it? Should we tease it for a little while, or exactly how do you want to do it?
I feel like we should just dive right into all the stuff we want to talk about.
Well, maybe we should start by going back to the beginning.
I like that.
Should we take people
Start
down
at the
memory
beginning.
lane? Take people down memory lane.
Yep,
So,
I love it.
Yes. So how do you want to do this? You want to ask me
Let's
some questions?
I'm gonna take it let's go back to before Thinlicious started.
Okay.
Like, obviously, you were not living your best life. In so many ways, you were living your best life, but there was something that was bothering you. So, take us back to that. What was your breaking point, and what kind of led to the creation of Thinlicious?
Well, like so many women before me, struggled with my weight for a really, really long time. For probably more than 10 years, I was one of those up and down yo-yo dieters, fad dieters, tried everything, always wanted the quick fix, whatever. Man, I can't even tell you every diet under the sun that I think I have tried at some point or another. The cabbage soup diet, the fat fix diet, or fat flush diet. That one was really weird. There were so many along the way, right? And I would I tried juice cleanses and green smoothies and everything, and you
end up buying all these extra things along the way. You buy the juicer so you can do the juice cleanse.
So many things along the way. Yes, so many things, and signing up for so many things like meal delivery services, and I Weight Watchers, and I just wanted something. I wanted a miracle. And this was pre-Ozempic, of course. And so, I always say if Ozempic had been around during all of this, I would have been the first in line, because that would have been the miracle pill for me that I would have not even thought twice about. But it wasn't around back then, and I'm glad it wasn't, because it's not so much of a miracle pill that I'm glad that I found a different way. However, what it finally came down to, I think, after all these years of struggle, is that I just finally got to a point where I didn't want to diet anymore. My kids were getting, I have 2 daughters, and they were starting to become teenagers. And when kids are little, I don't think they're really paying attention, or at least I didn't really think about how my constant yo-yo dieting was affecting them. But as they started to get older, I started to notice that they were paying attention, and I wanted to be a lot more careful. So I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work anymore. I don't want to be dieting in front of them. I have to figure out something that is going to be sustainable and that I can do long term, is just that I'm eating the same food that they're eating, that they don't see me eating something different. And so I started doing a lot of research on the science of weight loss. And, I kind of always joke that my superpower is taking complicated information and distilling it down into simple steps that you can follow, right? That's always what I've done in my business and all of my other businesses, whether it's helping women get their homes in order and create home systems, whether it's been helping business owners create online businesses. But it had never really occurred to me that I could do that with my health and with my weight loss journey. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start doing this. And I eventually kind of was like, oh my gosh, everything that I have ever been told about what makes you lose weight, what makes us fat, right? All these things, like, it's a lie. We've always been told calories in, calories out, like that count your calories, eat less and exercise more, all this stuff that I thought was like a no-brainer and so obvious and that I was trying over and over was actually not obvious. And not only that, it was counterproductive and not even working. And so I completely changed the way that I ate and sort of came up with a new system and started applying it and started seeing results and started losing weight, and it started coming off, and it was pretty amazing. And to not drag out this story so long, it finally, I lost about 40 pounds over the course of about 6 months, which at the time didn't feel particularly fast, right? When I look back, it seems really fast. It's amazing how that happens, right? In the moment, I mean, I had plateaus and I started, did more research when I was hitting a plateau, because when I started this journey, I was still a vegetarian and realized like, oh my gosh, I need more protein, right? And I started learning about the science of that vegetarianism wasn't very helpful for me. So all these different things. But over the course of 6 months, it lost 40 pounds and have kept it off. But what was even more amazing was how much it transformed my energy levels. Brain fog went away. I used to get headaches all the time. I felt so good that it wasn't even hard to stick with it. And I never intended to create a weight loss program or to create something for other people, right? Even though because I'm like, I already have multiple businesses. I need another business. Like, I need a hole in my head, and which was true at the time, is still true now. And yet so many people and so many of these women that had already been serving in my other brands were like, Ruth, what are you doing? You have to tell me, come on, you got to share your secret. And so finally I couldn't help myself and ended up creating Thinlicious. And that is the story of how Thinlicious came to be. And that's right about the point where I met you.
Yeah, I love that. And I can relate to so much of your story.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about how your journey has been sort of parallel to ours?
Yeah. So my journey predates Thinlicious by quite a few years, but I had I was diagnosed with some autoimmune diseases starting in my teens and in my 20s. And so, starting in my 20s, I was on some chemo drugs and I was taking huge doses of steroids, and my weight, which I'd always been a junior size 13. I always felt like I was pushing the upper edge of the envelope. As I was growing up, I was super athletic, quickly ballooned out of control. And so all through my 20s and my 30s, I was significantly overweight. And so, it was I just kept remembering thinking, oh gosh, if I could just get back to a size 14 or a size 16 and could fit into regular clothes, it would be amazing. And then, I'd lose 25 pounds and then I'd gain 30. Then I'd lose 50 pounds and I'd gain 60. And and then got to the point where I was I need to lose over 100 pounds. And so I was okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm a blogger, so I'm going to buy a domain name and I am going to journal how I lost 100 pounds and completed an Ironman triathlon before I turned 40, right? I big ideas. So I bought the domain name Obese to Ironman, and I was one woman's journey to lose 100 pounds and complete an Ironman
I have never
before
heard
she turns 40.
Oh my gosh.
And so, okay, spoiler alert, I weighed 280 pounds when I turned 40. I have never done an Ironman. So, it was an epic fail.
Classic. Yes. It's so classic.
I still own the domain name. I don't know why. And there's probably still content on it. I should probably go look.
Not too late.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm not doing an Ironman at this point in my life. But anyway, I hit 40 and I weighed 280 pounds, and I was okay, my weight is continuing to go up, and I'm not getting any smaller and I'm not getting any healthier. And in the meantime, I've got 5 kids, and I'm exhausted all the time. I'm in pain all the time. Basic life is just taking it out of me. And every time we would do something fun and epic as a family, my weight would keep me from living my best life. I remember going on a Disney blogging trip and being so afraid I wouldn't be able to fit on a ride. And like, I lived in constant fear that whole trip. Like, what if I get on the ride and they're like, oh my gosh, you're too big and the seatbelt's not going to fit, or like, you know, all the things. And like, I was exhausted at the end of the day. And so, you know, I just like, there were so many things. And I happened to go in to see a doctor one day. My doctor was out of town. And so I saw his partner and he was like, have you ever thought about keto? And he was like, it might be helpful for inflammation. And I was like, oh, okay. And so like, that was, you know, even still a couple years before I started losing the weight, it you know, it made me think. And I was like, okay, so I would try it, like super dirty keto with all of the like bad sugar, like bad sweeteners and stuff. But I would lose some weight and my inflammation would go down and I'd be like, that's amazing. And then I would go like right back to eating whatever I was eating before, because it wasn't sustainable. How I was doing it was like, there was nothing, you know, and it was like, it just like I was eating like Atkins bars and random things like that. There was no nutrients in what I was eating.
Yes.
But eventually I kind of went on the same journey you went on, where I was like, I got to figure this out. Like, I'm not getting any younger. You know, around the same time my mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and the doctor kept saying things like, you know, exercise is better than medication for slowing the progress of disease and yada, yada, and for your brain health. And I'm like, I can barely move. Like, I can barely walk across the room, let alone, you know, do anything major. And so I was like, I got to figure this out. And so like that started this, you know, like researching books and reading about actual nutrition, and started this journey. And over, like you said earlier, what seemed like a really, really long amount of time, which actually ended up being like 18 months, I ended up losing over 100 pounds. And, you know, like I've now kept it off for over 8 years. And what's funny, as like, when I hit that 100-pound mark, like I had two goals. Like I was like, I just need to be a size 14 so I can wear regular clothes. Like that was like, I'm so tired of like plus size shopping. And I wanted to weigh under 200 pounds. Like those were two big, like, and if I do these things, then I'll be happy. And like, you know, when you look at like the BMI charts and it would like say, oh, you should weigh like right around 160. And I'm like, I'm never going to weigh 160. But what happened is, after I actually started coaching in TAS and watching what was happening in the program, like it seems like I lost another like 25 pounds effortlessly. And I was like, I don't even know how that happened. So now I'm down like 130 pounds, and I've, you know, kept that off for so long. But it's so interesting how, you know, like that journey happened. And so, you know, I had lost this weight and I had kept it off, and, you know, like I loved the way I was eating. I loved what I was doing. I was, you know, still trying to learn as much as I could about, you know, all the things, and how is, you know, like how is our cortisol levels affecting, you know, my health and my weight loss and all of this. And then right about that time, you know, I'd been, I think 3 years, I'd lost the weight and kept it up for 3 or 4 years at that point. And then our paths crossed. Mm-hmm. And that was when you were, you know, in the process and thinking about starting Thinlicious.
Yes. So that is where I guess we can, I mean, I feel like we can confidently say now this was a God thing, even though didn't realize it all.
No, like, had no idea at the time. But looking back, it's like, wow, that was clearly God's hand in all of this.
So typically when I'm like hiring somebody new, I try to first like recruit people from my audience, right? So I have these other brands. I think it probably was Living Well, Spending Less, that you were following something, and I might have sent out an email or put something on Facebook. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like, hey, this is who we're looking for. Is this you? Somebody who's fun and a cheerleader and understands the low carb lifestyle, wants to coach people, or whatever it was. And Lisa's like, this is my dream job. Like, you tell that story.
Yeah, so I was like on Facebook, and I think it might have even been a blogger group. And you're like, hey, I'm looking for somebody who blah, blah, blah. And like is a cheerleader for midlife women, and, you know, like loves to encourage people and, you know, cheer them on. And, you know, it's really helpful if you understand like the low carb lifestyle. And so I was like, oh, like that's me. And so I said to my husband, hey, I just found my dream job. And he was like, you have a job. And I was like, I know. And I liked my job. So it wasn't like I had a terrible job or something. Like I loved what I did, but I was like, oh, but it's it's only like 10 hours a week. It's really part-time. And so like I could do both. And, I worked from home, so I had flexibility. So he was like, well, then you should apply. And so I did. Like, and it's funny because Ruth and I don't live very far apart from each other. Like, it's not like she was in some other state. Like, I can be at her house in like 40 minutes. It's been such an interesting way that this has all worked out.
Yes. So obviously I hired Lisa as our very first Thinlicious coach. And she's been there from absolute day one, from starting the program, has been through everything, has helped to coach and mentor all of our other coaches, and has just been such an integral part of the program. And that was all fine and great, and like there's been no problems for the last few years. But then, do we want to get to how it all has come together?
Yeah, sure.
So a few months ago, like I said, Lisa doesn't live very far from me, so we throw this big Christmas party every Christmas Eve. It's a big brunch, which funnily enough, everyone is always available for Christmas Eve brunch. And so it's a big party, but since Lisa doesn't live very far away, she was invited in again and came. And while we were just chitty-chatting at the party, she happened to say, I said, "Oh, how's it going?" And she happened to say, "Oh, well, I quit my job, her other job, this week." And I was like, "Really?" And at the time, I had really been thinking pretty seriously about needing to just simplify my life. It's been something that I've been like, it's been weighing on my heart. It's been weighing on just my mind and my family, and knowing that I have all these different businesses, but I want to be working less and doing fewer things. And so I was like, really? Because what Lisa doesn't know is that the conversation that I had with my number two, Heather, in our company, like probably a week earlier, it was very close to that day. She's like, "Well, like, what would be your dream situation for Thinlicious? If you could like architect your dream situation." I'm like, because I don't want to just sell it to somebody that doesn't know it, that doesn't know our people, that doesn't like, that's not, I don't know, I can't do that to my people. I like, if I'm gonna sell the business, it has to be to the right person. She's like, "Well, who would you want to sell it to?" I'm like, "Lisa."
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she's like, "Well, is she even interested? Like, doesn't she have a job?" I'm like, "Yeah, she probably isn't." But then you said that you quit your job, and that's why I like right off
I mean, you said it so quickly, and like Chuck shut that conversation down.
Oh yeah, my husband does not like to talk business at parties, so he was like, "Nope, you can't talk about that right now." I'm like, "Okay, I'll call you." So I did. So we got together after Christmas and just started talking about what this could look like, and talked about like different options. We both talked about how much we love Thinlicious and love the program and love all the stuff, and Lisa has just so much like enthusiasm for it. But I think something that really came out of it and from our conversation was that even though I don't want to personally be involved in the day-to-day operations anymore for personal reasons, and that I still want to have ownership in the company, that it's still very much a part of me. And so what we agreed on was a partnership. And I guess that is what we are announcing today, is that we are officially partners. And now it takes a while to get all that stuff legalized and finalized. And even though we were both on board and there was no weirdness, just the whole back and forth.
No, I mean, if we were both attorneys, it would have been done months ago, because holy cow, we like had like, this is what we agree on, it's good. And then it was like, oh my gosh, the legal, all of that stuff takes so long.
It does take long.
But it's been so good because like from day one, even when I didn't know you very well, and I was like, people would ask questions in the TAS community, and I'd be like, "Here's what I would say." And you're like, "That's what I would say." And I'd be like, oh, good. Like, I'm glad that you would say that. Like, cause like we've been so aligned, and like we've had so many of the same things. And so even when we sat down to talk about like, what could this look like? And you were like, like, "Do you want me to still be involved?" And I was like, "Yes, like this is your baby and you have built this thing. Like you are such a huge part of it. Like I want you to still be part of it." Like, I think your original dream for TAS to serve, like 1 million women and watch them transform their lives. Like, I want to see that happen. And I want you to be part of that, whether it's in the day-to-day, like, here we are, or whether it's just like, I'm cheering you on from the sidelines and this is still my baby.
Yes.
Like, I love that you and I just were able to really quickly be like, okay, like, this is what I see the future of TAS being. Yes. Okay. Like, let's do this thing.
Yes. I mean, everything that you said is so totally true. There's so much alignment. And yet, I think what gets me really excited, because I do care so much about this brand, I care so much about our mission of this company. I care so deeply about helping women transform their health, because like, I've been coaching and mentoring women online for 16 years now through my various brands. And it's really cool to help people feel more in control at home. And it's really cool to help people build businesses. I've helped entrepreneurs build 6, 7, 8-figure businesses, and that's really cool too, and obviously life-changing. But there's something totally different when you help people transform their health, when they go from not being able to do stuff, not being able to get on the floor with their grandkids, to running around and running marathons. And we have such amazing success stories in this program, and such longevity success stories in this program, and I feel so honored to be a part of that journey, and really am so this is my ideal situation of. And not only that, because the problem that I have always had as a multifaceted entrepreneur doing way too many things is that I have so many ideas that I can't actually physically execute them. And that's been the problem with Thinlicious, is that there's so many cool things that we could do with this program and with this brand, and to serve our customers even better than we already are. And I just haven't had the bandwidth for that. And now seeing your vision and excitement and just enthusiasm to take it to the next level is what has me so fired up for the future of the company. And oh my gosh, am I cheering you on? 100%. So if any of you are listening to this and think there's anything other than good vibes and love and excitement for this change, know that it is so, we are so supportive of anything Lisa wants to do in the future, and we are cheering her on. And like I said, I'm still a partner. I'm now a minority partner, and Lisa is now the majority partner, the CEO, the operating partner. And so it's and I think it's going to be really, really good for just the future of the company. And for those of you who don't know this, Lisa, and I think this is a cool connection too, and it goes back to the God thing, but Lisa is a certified life coach, not only through our program, or a certified Thinlicious coach, but she's also certified through Edie's program, and has gone through Edie's coaching certification, which is really cool. And as we say here at Thinlicious, Dr. Edie's program.
Yes.
Dr. Edie is our Thinlicious advisor. So there's such great alignment there as well. And I think that is really cool too. Edie's very excited for you and for this. So yeah, do you want to talk about kind of what you see happening, or are you keeping that close to your vest?
No, I think there's so much opportunity as far as really helping women really get healthy. And so even, as Ruth and I have looked at what does the landscape look like? What are women dealing with and struggling with? We both know people in our personal lives who have decided hey, I'm going to go the Ozempic or, Manjaro or, one of those GLP-1 or GLP, 2, 3, all of the GLPs, who have decided to go that route, but have had no support for what is this doing to your muscles? What is this doing to your long-term health? Or they've decided oh, I want to lose weight, but now what? I don't want to be on this forever. And so even, realizing there are so many women that need this program to figure out what life looks like long-term for them. Mm-hmm. Maybe they've lost the weight with a GLP-1 and now they're I'm gaining weight so quickly back because I never learned what my body needed, or I never healed my hormones, and I haven't figured out the whole insulin resistant piece. And so, being able to figure out how do we serve a broader group of women, and then also how do we serve the women in our community better? So we're bringing back, weekly accountability and coaching calls so that you guys can get plugged in and get to know people. So many of the women who've had long-term success have been people who just keep showing up to these calls. We did a call, I was telling Ruth right before we jumped on here, we have somebody who's been on the podcast before who, lost weight early on with TAS and, lost 40 something pounds. And then she said, I was like, oh, I got this down. And she left, which, that's fine. You don't have to be part of this forever. And she said, I started gaining weight back, and she came back over a year ago, but she's now down 65 pounds and she's in her 60s. And she said she's healthier than she was in her 20s. She's off all of her medications and she's been off of them for over 3 years. And like, that made me so happy, like, just to see these women, because like what happens in Thinlicious affects every other facet of their life. And, I've got grandkids, and the fact that I can crawl around on the floor with them, that I can like hold one of them and get up from a sitting position on the floor while holding a baby and not worrying about like all of us dying in the process is amazing to me. And I want that for everybody else. So like being able to like add places where people can get plugged in so that they're getting the community support they need. Just figuring out, how do we serve you better? What does that look like? The app is going away at the end of June. A lot of people have been like, we don't like the app, or, whatever. It's been a struggle. So a lot of people have said, we're using our own app. Like, we like to use, whatever it is, that they like. And so we understand that, but we know they still need coaching. So we'll be moving to like Voxer for coaching so that they can use voice coaching, or they can send text messages. They can send screenshots of whatever, like, MyFitnessPal is showing as their macros. They can send screenshots of that to their coach in Voxer. And so, making things just really as easy as we can for you guys, and just listening to what do you guys need? What do you want? And being able to figure out, how do we make that happen for you so that we can serve you better? So I'm super excited. Like, I love this community so much. They do my heart so much good. And like, every time I get off a coaching call, I'm just like, I love these ladies so much. And like, it's like, it makes my heart so happy to see every person's success, because I remember like what it was like to struggle. And I remember what it was like to feel terrible every day. And I know now, like, oh my gosh, like my life has changed so dramatically from the weight loss, because I can do so much more. I feel so much better. Like, I never am like, oh, do I have the energy? And even now, like, as I'm in a caregiving era, like, I'm able to do whatever my mom needs. And I'm not worried about like, am I healthy enough? Am I strong enough? Am I fit enough? Yeah. Like, I can just do it. And so that would have never happened 10 years ago. And so like, I love that. And I love that, like in this community, I can be like, oh my gosh, you guys, caregiving is like killing me, and it's really stressful, and my cortisol levels are high, and I ate a piece of chocolate cake. And then like, and I can say like, you guys, this is what I realized. Like, here's how I could have done this better. And this is, I realized, why did I do this? Like, we all have those same triggers. We all still sometimes have those emotional eating moments where I was like, I didn't need cake. I didn't actually want cake. Like, it didn't help me feel better, but I chose cake because I didn't know what to do with my feelings, and I didn't take the time to figure it out. And so this community is so great, because I know if I'm dealing with something, everybody else is also dealing with the same thing, and being able to say, look, this is how we avoid it the next time. It's really, really helpful. And people feel like they can be honest in this community with what they're struggling with. And that's what I think helps us be successful, is realizing like, you don't fix it all overnight.
Yeah. And I love what you said too about bringing in more support for GLP-1 users. I think it's very, like, in this day and age, with it being so prevalent, it's very important to be clear that we're not anti Ozempic or anti GLP-1s. In this, we understand why people turn to them, right? Every single one of us understands why. Like I said, I would have, if that would have been an option 5-6 years ago when I was struggling with this, it wouldn't have been even a question for me. However, what I think we do so well in TAS and with Thinlicious is help you to understand the science of what's actually happening with your body. And that is something that a doctor will just write you a prescription for a drug, but he won't tell you what you should be eating, what you should not be eating. There's no nutritional support. There's no scientific support behind what's actually happening with your body. And so if you don't know that, you're either stuck taking the drugs forever, because as soon as you go off of them, you go right back to your old habits and you end up gaining all the weight back, or you're actually doing damage, because there are some dangers and side effects in terms of muscle loss and bone loss that you have to account for with the nutrition that you're eating. And so having support for that, I think, is going to be so, so important going forward. And I'm really excited that you're bringing that in, and that you're going to be doing trainings on that. And I think it's going to be like so amazing for the community and for just women going forward. And because like ultimately the mission of Thinlicious is to help women create freedom in their life through getting healthy. And that's why this podcast is Feel Better, Live Free, right? Like, you want to feel better, you want freedom, because when you have that freedom that comes when you get your health under control, it does free up everything else in your life. All of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much energy, I have so much more time, I'm not thinking about food all the time. Like, it just changes so much. And that feeling spills over into every other part of your life.
Yeah.
And
it's not just the weight loss. It's like there's so much more. Like I told somebody on a coaching call the other day, if I had to be a size 20 with no inflammation, or I could be my size I am now with inflammation, I would choose to be a size 20 with no inflammation, because that inflammation and the pain kept me from doing so much. And so like, don't get me wrong, I love being able to buy whatever clothes I want and fit into whatever and feel good. But so much more is the fact that I can do things, and then I can live a good life and do fun things with my grandkids and all of that. So that makes such a huge difference. And watching other women get healthy and change their lives is like this really is my dream job.
Yes, I know. And you're going to be amazing. You're going to be amazing. And I'm going to be just cheering for you every step of the way, for sure.
Thank you. So tell everybody what you are doing now.
What I am doing now.
Yeah. Just so they know, like, this is where your focus is now.
I am not disappearing completely from the internet. I am just simplifying and streamlining my business after 16 years of running multiple brands and having multiple things. I am just going to be focused on one brand and one program, which is kind of my core program that I do. It's called Flourish, and many of our TAS people, there's so much crossover for my clients who are in all of my programs. They're in my business program, they're in TAS, they're in Flourish as well. And then there's some people who only find me through one way or the other. But I will be primarily focused on Flourish, which is my program for helping women follow through. It provides the structure and support to follow through on your goals, whatever those goals may be. So if they're your health goals, then it doesn't provide you with a meal plan the way Thinlicious does, right? It doesn't provide you with health coaching the way Thinlicious does. It just gives you the structure and support for any of the goals in your life. And I'm also, at the same time, I'm making this transition with Thinlicious. I'm actually sunsetting my business brand after business coaching for the last 14 years. I am closing down my business brand and closing my business programs. However, in my Flourish program, I will still have a business tier where I will still do business coaching, but it'll all be kind of within that one single program, one thing, which feels so crazy to me after all these years of doing so many different things and juggling so many different balls and being stretched probably way too thin. It feels pretty exciting to be just focused on one thing. And I can do that knowing that Thinlicious is in good hands. Like, I feel so much peace about all of the decisions I'm making, and truly, like, I'm so excited about the future, because I know, like, this was my dream situation of having you take over this brand and knowing you know everything about it, right? You've been there since day one, and you care about it as much as I do, and I couldn't ask for a better partner, truly.
Oh, well, I feel the same way. I'm so excited to be part of this community. I can't wait to see what the future is gonna hold. And I even am like excited about like, oh, what new friends am I going to meet in this community? Like, the women that are part of the TAS community are amazing. And I just love, like, I love our coaches. I love seeing just the transformations that are happening. I love seeing women go from being, shy and like not very confident to like confidently like living their dreams. And that just lights me up. So I'm super excited about the future. I'm super excited that you will still be in the background cheering us on. And I just can't wait to see what's coming down the pike for Thinlicious.
Thanks. Me too. I cannot wait to see it. So yeah, if you're listening to this and you are not yet part of TAS, it is an amazing program. It is the kind of program that will help you transform your health step by step. We have it dialed in so well, and it really truly will walk you through the process. It's a multi-stage process. If Lisa scared you earlier when she was talking about keto, please know that our program is not keto. It's beyond. There are ketogenic aspects of it, especially in the beginning when you are reversing insulin resistance and getting your body to be more metabolically flexible. But it is very much a program that is based in metabolic science. It is based in healing your body. Truly, it's based on whole food nutrition and eating real food, not crap food. And it's about really making you feel good. Balancing your hormones, reversing insulin resistance, healing your gut. Those are the big three. And when you do that, it's amazing how good you feel. So
it frees you up so that you can eat anything.
Yes.
Once you know, once you're metabolically flexible and when you've lost the weight, it's amazing. People are like, oh, do you ever eat carbs? And I'm like, yes, I eat sweet potatoes all the time.
I make sourdough almost every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. It is life-changing to have that freedom from all of that. So the podcast is coming back regularly. So I'm super, super excited. I can't wait we've got some fun guests that will be coming on. We've got some great success stories that we'll be sharing, and just some fun, nerdy, sciencey stuff, that will help you get healthier and change your life. So I'm excited about that as well for the future. Ruth may be disappearing from the podcast. I hope she'll come back and join me occasionally, but the podcast will be back on a regular schedule, and we are excited about that.
I love that. And I just want to say too, for all of you who are listening, obviously this isn't goodbye for me. I'm still around. However, what I would ask you, as people, we have an amazing community. And so I know some of you have been part of our community for a really long time. Please welcome Lisa, make her feel welcome, tell her you're excited, let her know that she is a huge part of this community and always has been, and that you have faith in her, because I know that will mean a lot, right? Anytime you're doing something and making a move, it's scary. This has been, as excited as we are for this change, I'm sure I can't speak for Lisa, but I know I've had anxiety and just different fears and worries along the way. It doesn't just because we're talking about it with excitement now doesn't also mean there hasn't been fear and scary moments and all of that along the way. And I can probably guess that Lisa has felt the same. It is a scary thing to take over ownership of a business and to take it into a new direction. And so just give her love and support, and know that I'm always cheering for all of you. So
awesome. All right. Well, this has been so fun and so exciting. And it's always fun, the fact that you never heard that I started Obese to Ironman, and I didn't know that you had talked to Heather about me before. So this was informative for both of us.
A few things.
Yeah. You always learn something new. Well, we are excited about the future of Thinlicious, and we hope you are too. I will see you next week on the Feel Better, Live Free podcast, but we'll also see you inside the community. Thanks so much for being part of this community.
Bye, everyone.